All right, gentlemen, let's move on to our next story. It's a crunch economic period in our country, and many citizens and organizations are feeling the heat. It is double jeopardy for the Librarians Registration Council of Nigeria, an agency under the Ministry of Education responsible for the regulation of library and information science education in the country. Members of staff of the council are protesting the removal of the agency from budget funding since January 2024. A situation that has resulted in the non-payment of their salaries. They pleaded with President Bola Tinubu to consider merging the council with other agencies, as it is not a revenue-generated agency that can fund itself. TVC News' Helen Osamide Akins has the story.
In June 2023, the federal government in a memo revealed plans to discontinue budgetary allocations to professional bodies and councils. In a memo to one of the affected councils dated June 26, 2023, the Budget Office of the Federation said the move was in line with the decision of the Presidential Committee on Salaries. The Librarian Registration Council of Nigeria is one of the affected councils. Its staff are today protesting the decision after several efforts to get the Ministry of Education's intervention, which also appear to be helpless in the situation. They complain that the decision is taking a toll on their productivity and their work environments.
Staff can no longer afford to pay rent. Children are out of school. Because you are federal government workers, you have some loan obligation which some agencies have given you because they know you can be repaying back. Today, their account has been thrown into debit. They are becoming bankrupt, being a federal government workers. And we begin to wonder why we FG secured work will now turn to be this kind of...
Going by the numbers and what the government is asking us to do to fund ourselves is not practicable. Because even where we are, we don't have accommodation of our own. The working environment is not conducive. We are just trying to manage. Now, if we are left to fund ourselves, it will be very, very difficult.
They want the federal government to have a rethink and consider merging them with other agencies and pay outstanding salaries.
In case of other people, they have absorbed them. If at all they don't want to fund them again. To start with, we are not supposed to be removed even from personnel, even if you are trying to implement something. We want our backlogs of salaries to be paid immediately. As it stands now, we don't even know whether we are in the service of the government or not, because they are telling us to remain an entity, whereas they know that we are not even revenue generating agency that can be able to generate to even pay itself.
Librarian Registration Council of Nigeria was established as a parastatal under the Federal Ministry of Education to provide leadership in the field of librarianship by regulating education for library and information science and its practice in Nigeria.
Addressing this issue will require alternative funding sources such as private sector partnership, international aid or increased fee for services. But these come with their own set of challenges and implications. Helen Osamide Akins, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, gentlemen, LRC and staff protesting there. Bikio, help us with a proper background to the story.
I still don't see the purpose for the reason behind what the government has done. The Federal Ministry of Education should merge them with any of its agencies that is similar in terms of what they do. Because they can't fund themselves by the nature of this agency. They cannot be self-funding. Where will the money come from? Who will bring money to them? Some agencies of government, even if you don't pay them for 5 years, they will get by. They will get by because they will generate, you give them target, they will generate above the target and use the rest to take care of their bureaucracy. But in this case, they cannot generate money. It's not possible given what they do. It's not every agency of government that can be that can generate money to fund itself. And since they are in that category, the best thing the government can do is to reabsorb them, merge them with another agency where they can continue to play the role that they are playing. If it is a regulatory agency for librarianship in our country and meant to help librarians in our country get better at what they do, then you want to believe that it is not useless. And since it is not useless, government has to find a way to accommodate them, merge them with an agency, and pay them their standing salaries. They go to work, but they can't pay their bills. Since January, they've not been paid. Nobody should be kept at work for 6 months without paying their salaries. You have to. They need to also know what their future will look like. Someone needs to address them to say, look, this is what this is our plan for you. But to simply leave them like that,
So
you haven't paid their salaries
and no one has been
since
responding.
January. You are not talking to them. You are not telling them what plan you have for them, and you have not dismissed them from service. I don't understand why these kind of things happen. Honestly, I can't explain. I imagine myself to be in their position. How do I take care of my family? How do I pay these fees of my children, the school fees of my children? How do I pay the landlords who of course, will be on your neck if you are owing? How do I pay my bills? How do I feed myself? How do I feed my children and my dependents?
And others who depend on you.
So this, and if, you know how painful it is in our country, if you had been enjoying life to an extent, and things change suddenly, the people who are not aware of the fact that you will not be paid for 6 months, some of them will still be coming to you to ask for one thing or another. And when you tell them that, no, it's not easy, they will say you are telling us stories. You know? So government needs to do something about their plight.
All right, Adeoye, what do you think?
Well, I think we need a government that is, first of all, ready to appreciate the value of Librarians Representation Council of Nigeria and their members. Because in this part of the world, we are very contemptuous of knowledge. This association belongs to the knowledge zone. And that is one of the most critical aspects of every economy. They are the custodians of information. They are the custodians of knowledge, science, art, politics. Even our archives, they are the ones that keep records for the past 200, 300 years. So library information, library technology is a crucial part of national development. This association that we are talking about, in other countries is taken as they don't really need to make money. It's not profit driven. They provide social services, knowledge services. So it's not every time you say, oh, this what is even the relevance of this association. As far back as we used to have the West African Library Association, which was established several years ago. Then later the Nigerian Library Association, which was established in 1962 at Ibadan, to back up the University of Ibadan. And people are coming from all over the world. When you are looking for information, you go to them. So we should not eliminate these aspects of our national life. Countries don't take this libraries is taken very seriously in other countries. US alone has 17,454 libraries. Brazil has 5,000. UK, 3,667. China, 3,303. Nigeria has only 316 libraries. So you are diminishing.
Someone that is saying we don't like to read here.
Yeah, it's not the best. Because even in the age of internet and all that, libraries are still very important. Not just in state, local government areas. So over the years, we've ignored this aspect of our national life. The governing council was inaugurated in 2002. After that dissolution, there was no other board until 2009. So over years, we just ignored this aspect. So I think the federal government needs to realize that this is a very strategic an important aspect of our life that is also relevant to industrial knowledge development. So I think government should take them serious, pay their salary. They have been owed 10 years, you know. That's why we don't, you know, look at teachers. They are poorly paid. We don't, and these are the people that actually that they lay the foundation for industrial development. And so I think government should address their plight and make sure that they are integrated into the.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Let's go on a commercial break, and when we come back, we will continue the discussion. Stay with us.